Welcome back. This video is going out on two channels, Rusty Road to Greasy Gold and the British History Hunting channel that I have. It has very few videos with hardly any subscribers at the moment. For you on the history channel that I've got, you're probably not aware of what is actually going on. I will be very soon doing some explorations along riverbanks, documenting as much as possible the history of the river, the locations, what used to be, what was used, when it was used, how it was used. And that one's going up on the history. That one's going on the history channel. You're asking, okay, that's great, or don't really care. Okay, slow down. The reasoning behind this, and I haven't written a script for this, I'm struggling already. I want to fundraise. I need to fundraise. I've got a very beautiful Alsatian, and he is only coming up to a year this month. Actually, I was going to say 11 months, but he is coming up to a year, and he has two absolutely knackered front legs, and he has two knackered hips, and I need to raise some money, because if I don't, I'm going to be putting him down very soon. Very soon. The vet I saw took x-rays, 1,500 quid's worth, and basically said I've got probably about 2 months before I have to consider an operation, and if I can't get that operation, I'm going to have to put him down. Well, we're already 3 weeks in on that already, so I've got about 6 weeks left. He has got a slight limp on the left leg at the moment, and I've noticed also the right rear leg, he's not walking on that properly at the moment. We've got him on a string of pills, loads of pills. Some pills are for joint aches and encouragement of growth on the cartilage, which we were hoping over a period of time we're going to sort that out. It's a pill called U-Move, a very expensive pill, but he's on it, and at the moment as we speak he's on painkillers. I mean, you wouldn't meet such a lovely dog. He hasn't got an evil sense of him at all, have you? You're a lovely little boy. You're a very mischievous little boy, aren't you? Huh? Aren't you? And he gives the funniest of looks. You can see he's hovering that foot, look. So, that's all the information I'm going to give you on that at the moment. And anyway, keys. If you go back on one of my previous episodes, which I'll try and find a link for if I can figure it all out, I bought this Flover electric outboard mower with the intentions in putting it on the back of a canoe or a kayak, and one of my first jaunts was going to be doing as much of the river gipping as I possibly could, with the intentions in taking the kayak or canoe out on the Orwell and following the Orwell all the way down to Felixstowe, as far as I dare. Bearing in mind I'm 55, I've got arthritis in shoulder, arthritis in knees, and I've got a lot of problems going on. I don't know how long this is going to take. We could end up camping on some of it. I may do it all in one go, like non-stop until I've got the video made. I might stop, jump in the car, go home, and then return to that point again. I just don't know at this point. The river gipping is rich with history, rich as hell with history, and I know a fair bit about it because it is where I was born. I was born in Bramford village, and I spent a lot of my youth and my spare time in my youth on that river. I used to swim it, I used to walk it, I used to explore it. So I'll pull up pictures as I go past all of these locations. There's a lot of portages that I'm going to have to use, so this is not going to be like some of the other videos that you've seen where you see me crawling through streams and whatnot. No, I'm just going to do this for the love of the history. So, going back to the money-making side of this, the charity part for the dog, the GoFund, I'm going to knock up a GoFund page with loads of information about what's going on. I have x-rays I can include to this. The videos that I'm going to do for you are in association of raising money for the dog, and it's not just my dog. Once I hit my target, I will be continuing this for other dogs as well, and possibly cats and animals and whatnot. The other thing I got with that outboard, and if you watch the channel, if you watch the episode on the other channel, you'll understand everything that's going on, is I've got 2 life jackets, not in the best of condition, but they are life jackets all the same. Damn my stomach. So yeah, I'd say that's the better of the two. It's got side pockets, and we've got an oar, which I don't know what that's about. You would have thought there'd be another one. But that's it. So we'll probably carry that on the canoe as a spare, just in case I lose the one in my hand. Wow, that's what I bought. And you are correct, that's a lot of money from my previous statement of recycling and buying really cheap. The thing is, I need to get this GoFundMe page started as soon as I possibly can, and there's other things that I need for this venture. Before I even set out on the river, I need a survival suit of some description, because if I do fall in down on the River Orwell, I am in deep trouble, and I need to be able to stay warm for a few minutes while I try and hack my way to the shore if I can't get back on the boat. So, with that decision in mind, I saw that price tag last night. I'm scrambling around like crazy trying to get the money together to make a bank payment, but obviously the banks are not open at 3 in the morning, which is when I stumbled across this roughly. So we had to link another debit card up to another family member, pay him the money, and then he transferred it over, and we won it. And this was only on a couple of hours. This bloke put it on about 3 hours before I stumbled across it. He must have put it on about 10, 11, something like that. I mean, cheap as chips, isn't it, really? And you're saying, well, how do I know? Well, I've been searching for a week for a canoe or a kayak, and this is what the average prices are for one of these things. They don't come cheap at all. For example, 360 quid for this one. That's a lot of money, and it's pretty much the same as what I've already got now. So, and then I thought to myself, because before I found this, for an example, right, this is a 13-foot kayak. It's up at Hadley. It's within my price range. There's a couple of others going for like 20 quid. I am pretty annoyed that I've just found a sea kayak for free. That really does boil my piss sometimes. But there was 2 other kayaks on here for free, and when I messaged the lady, she never got back to me. So the free ones I'm finding are probably scams, so I'm not even going to bother chasing after those. So if I was to convert this into a sea kayak, if it will let me look, oh, let's find another one. There we go. Okay, so we've got 3 of these plus a surfboard with no sails. Right, if I was going to turn this into a sea kayak, for starters, the bow is all wrong down here, right? Let me just get this in the picture a bit better. So the bow is all wrong. So that part here needs to come up in the air a little higher, and then it needs to go down like that, so as it can punch through waves. Secondly, it needs cargo holds. So you need to cut a hole in there, and you put a bulkhead across there, and then you put a rubber flap over the top to seal it down, and you've got another one that goes on the back. The chair, you need a padded chair as well, and a couple of oar holders, so I've got a spare oar, and then you need cargo nets going over as well. All of that costs a lot of money. There's more time than it is anything else, but it totaled up a £50 kayak, for example's sake, plus the resin, plus everything else. I'm looking at about 150, close to £200 with at least a month's worth of work involved in it, and I can't even fiberglass my camper build yet because the weather is too cold, so it just wasn't really an option. So in the end I took a simpler attitude. We can buy this kayak that's already there, ready to go. I don't have to do anything to it other than stick a compass on it, make a bracket for a set of wheels so as I can lower the wheels down and carry it or drag it between portages. So there you go, both channels to both history, hunting at Hunters, and Rusty Road and Greasy Gold. That's my plans. Sorry guys, at this point of the video, if YouTube copyrights me because next door's got his radio going, then I'm afraid I'll have to delete the video and I'll have to do it all over again. But did I pick a bargain up yesterday? Check that out. 16 foot of sea kayak. Made in England, these. It's the Orca range. It's old. I've forgotten the maker name. I'm sitting here getting ready to spout it out, but I can't blink and remember what they're called now. I've forgotten. So I'll put it in the title when I remember. I've now got to sit here and think, what do I intend to do with this when I put it on the water? Where was I? Anyway, we can make up a plate that'll go there, right? And we can make it so it slots inside of here and can't move. That's what will lock it in a straight line. And then we'll weld a tube here so we can run a bar across with the wheels attached that flips down and then flips up. That will be held down with bungee straps on top, and when you flip it over there'll be a bungee strap go probably around about here somewhere that will clip on to the safety line, and that's just so as I can pull the front out, drag it up on the embankment, drop the wheel and then wheel it to the next portage, put it in the water, lift the wheels up, and away we go. The bonus is I will put another plate on the end of that for the outboard to sit on. What I plan to do with the outboard is I'm detaching all of this, and this tube is going to get cut down to about here somewhere, and that will be attached to the plate via possibly this, or I'll make something else up using that point. The biggest headache I got is that blasted bracket here broke, because I thought it came that way and I went and pulled it that way and it snapped, but it doesn't. It goes that way and that's a stiff old bugger, so we're going to have to possibly make a new one up or try and find a replacement, and I don't hold much hope in finding a replacement, so we may very well have to cut some metal out and try and weld something up and make something, and then we can run a cable to that to the front, and the electronic box inside here, which is just basically a variable switch or potentially on a type switch, we'll place that in a small box which will be strapped with a cargo strap to the side, and then we'll also put the cable, because we're going to put a big rubber hose over this, glue it so it can't get water in, and then we'll run the wires through that, extend them all, and that will run all the way to the front via that length there, so it'll all be sort of tacked on to these areas here, but not that area, because we've got to grab that if we go over, and there'll be a strap that will run across to here all the way under possibly, or I'll take these screws out and I'll utilise them points, making sure that I can still get a hold of that, and then we'll put the unit here. I know you're probably wondering, well, how are you going to work that? Well, it's simple. Recycling this. It's been sitting in the shed for years, never been used. I'm going to take that lever and I'm going to weld a tube to that, and then that's going to go in the potentiometer with a rubber grommet. The potentiometer itself with a variable switch is waterproof anyway. I just need to make sure that the terminals don't get soaking wet and corrode, and then I can use that. And the wheels on the back I'm going to use as well to make up the tow along wheels. And that's pretty much how I'm doing it. So the outboard can be put on and taken off any time. No extra holes are going to be drilled. That would be a very silly thing to do. The canoe itself is worth a fair few quid, and drilling a shed load of holes in it is not doing myself or it any favours. Them off and thread some hose through there, thin hose, just because grabbing hold of that at the moment is not easy. You see what I mean? Look. So that could do with some beads to lift this off the boat, and then a piece of tubing threaded through, but enough for it to move, you know. So a bead there maybe, and a bead there to bring it off, and then a piece across, and then a piece across there with a bead, and just something to grab a hold of, isn't it? I'll do the same on the front as well. In fact, to be honest, I think this rope could do with being washed. It feels a bit crusty and hard. So, as soon as the living room is finished, because what you don't know is we think the dog hurt himself in the living room on the laminate floor, which we've got a carpet up in the loft that's coming down and going in. So we've been clearing the living room out of clutter. Something I've been trying to do for a couple of years, but I haven't been able to persuade the wife to help me. We're going to get that carpet laid, so this video is going to come out late next week, somewhere along the line. I'll spend all the next week concentrating on these wheels, and if the weather gets a bit warmer, I'll make a start on the fiberglassing on the camper as well, because I've got all the stuff for that. Nothing's got to be purchased now. All I'm waiting for to start doing something on the canoe is some kind of life suit, like a dry suit, a wet suit maybe not. I don't really want to use one of them. That's not really the right thing for this weather. I don't think so anyway. So we're looking for a survival suit possibly, or a wet suit. Survival suits are about 5mm thick neoprene, and they're a little bit, you ain't got a lot of room to move. So I'm looking for a proper survival, a dry suit or something. Now I've rung up somebody about that in Woodbridge, so I'm waiting for that person to get back to me tomorrow. I did order one, and it did come through the door today. When I tried it on, it was about 8 inches too big on the arms, and it was 8 inches too big on the legs, and I looked like Mr. Blobby. It was ridiculous. I was going to film it for your entertainment, but when the person got back to me and told me to send it back, I just immediately wrapped it up ready for post. So I ain't opening it up to show you that. I'm sorry, you've just missed out on something absolutely hilarious. So that is what is happening. Nothing can be done at the moment, so there's no point going any further with this video. You've seen the boat, you've seen the safety equipment. Things are moving. So with that in mind, I will see you next week. And yeah, I am an absolute amateur at this, but as I keep watching other people's YouTubes, I'm learning fast. I know what's ridiculous. The outboard idea is ridiculous. Nobody's done one of these that I can find, but I'm only using it around the local rivers. I've decided it isn't going to be put on the Orwell River, on a tidal river. It's not going on tidal at the moment anyway, not until I've got some skills in me to do this thing properly and understand a bit more about what's going on with tides and currents and winds and all the rest of it. And I'm definitely not going out to sea on it. That I've already made my mind up on. So even though it's a sea kayak, I will not be going out to sea ever. I've made my mind up on that one. So it's local rivers and tidal rivers only, and that's what I'm using it for. Nothing less and nothing more. So I will see you next week.